Hi, this is Debbie from Costa Rica, here with another 4-3 class for you. 4-3 classes have you stand for 3 poses, then kneel for 3, sit for 3, lie for 3 poses, and finally rest for 3 minutes in savasana. Today we'll be using some props, yoga props if you have them, but if not, I will offer up some household items that you can gather up and use in your practice today. Our theme is balance, and we will be finding stability in many of our poses today. So let's grab our props and we can begin. Come to stand facing the long edge of your mat and have your chair nearby, off to the side a little bit. Bring your feet next to each other with your big toes touching and your heels slightly apart. Press down into your feet as you stand up tall. Roll your shoulders back. And then bring the weight into your left foot and lift your right foot up and bring the foot to the inside of your leg. If you're wobbly, hold on to the chair. Possibly you can grab that ankle and bring the foot higher up the leg, maybe even to the very top of the thigh. Press the foot into the leg and press the leg back into the foot, but don't put your foot right at the knee. We don't want to be pressing the kneecap. So press the foot against the standing leg against the foot, firmly pressing your foot into the earth. Roll your shoulders back. Inhale, lift your hands to the sky. And keep your eyes focused on a spot in front of you on the floor. We call this eye focus drishti. Draw in your lower abs, keeping your lower belly nice and firm. Keep pressing your foot against the standing leg against the foot. And now open up the knee, pressing the knee toward the back of your mat. And then bring the right foot down onto the floor and step your feet wide, keeping your feet parallel. You could also bring your toes in a little bit toward the center. Firmly press your feet into the ground, roll your shoulders back, hands on your hips. And then exhale, and you're going to bow forward, keeping a nice long spine, trying to bring your hands down to the ground. Maybe your hands don't reach the ground and you have a yoga block. Take your hands to the block. Maybe you don't have a block, then use the chair. Bring the chair in front of you and place your hands on the chair. You want to keep your spine nice and long. Feel the weight of your body and notice where is the weight predominantly in what part of your foot. We're going to play around with balance here a little bit. So we'll bring the weight into the ball of the foot. You might be able to lift your heels off of the ground. Some of you might be able to walk your hands so that they are in line between your feet, bringing your head closer to the ground. So bring the weight into the ball of your foot, maybe lifting the heels up off of the ground, or maybe just bringing the weight forward. And then bring the weight into the heels of your foot, maybe lifting the toes or the balls of your feet off of the ground. And now bring the weight evenly into the front and the back of the foot. Take slow, deep breaths. And then inhale, squeeze your legs together and come up to standing. We'll move our chair off to the left side of our mat, or possibly if you're using a yoga block, you'll want to have a yoga block nearby. And then turn your left foot toward the left edge of your mat, the short edge of your mat, and make sure your right foot is still parallel with the short edge of the mat. Bend your left knee and then lift your heel up off of the ground as you press the mount of your big toe into the ground. Then press the inner edge of your heel into the ground, and then lift your arch, and then straighten your leg. Bend toward the left, bringing your hand down either to a block or to the chair, coming into triangle pose. Your right arm is straight up over your shoulder. You can turn and look down at the floor next to your foot or up at the sky. I'm choosing to look down because of the sun. Expand through the sides of your body, not just the right side, but the left side as well. Keep a slight bend in that knee, in the left knee, but keep the right leg straight. And then inhale, squeeze your legs to come up again. And then take both of your feet, point them toward the long side of the mat. Move your chair to the other side. Heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe your feet together until your feet are next to each other, bringing your big toes in alignment and separating your heels. Firmly grounding your feet, rolling your shoulders back, and then bringing your left foot up for tree pose on the other side. Remember, your foot can either be down below the kneecap, on the inside of your calf, or on the inside of your upper thigh. Press the foot against the standing leg and the standing leg back up against the foot. Open up the knee, pressing the knee back. Inhale, your hands up to the sky. Keep your drishti or your focus on the ground. And breathe. Slow and steady breath. If this is easy for you, a little bit more challenge might be to move your gaze in front of you or even up to the sky. Exhale, bring your hands down, bring your feet down, and separate your feet as wide as is comfortable. We'll move the chair over toward the right, and we'll turn our right foot toward the short edge of the mat, making sure your left foot is parallel with the short edge of the mat. Bend the knee, lift the heel, press the mound of the big toe into the mat, then the inner heel into the mat, lifting through the arch of the foot, and then begin to extend the right leg. Inhale, exhale, bend toward the right, taking the right hand down to the chair or the block, and then bringing the left arm directly over the shoulder. Turn your gaze either up or down and look at the mat next to your foot. Feel the sides of your body long. Breathe into the sides of your body. Inhaling and exhaling. To come up, squeeze your legs together. And then turn your right foot forward and heel toe your feet together. So come to kneel on your mat, and sometimes when you bear weight on your knees, it can be painful or uncomfortable, and we need some extra padding. So if you have a yoga blanket or a thick towel, you could roll that up and place that under your knees, or I'm going to show you today with a thin chair cushion, and I'm going to pad my knees on this cushion, making it more comfortable. Then I take my hands and I place them on the mat, shoulder width apart, and I look down at my knees and I see that my knees are underneath my hips and my hands are underneath my shoulders. My fingers are spread wide, and I look at the wrist crease and I see that they're parallel with the front of the mat. I extend my right leg behind me, looking underneath to see that my foot is pointing down toward the ground. I engage my lower abs by drawing the belly button to the spine. And it may be okay, this might be enough for you, or you could extend your left arm in front of you with your palm facing the midline. Keep your belly toned and firm. Keep your toes pointing down toward the ground. And now lengthen through your heel and through your fingertips. And then, if you'd like to add on, you can draw your knee toward the center and your elbow toward the center, and then extend. Exhaling as you crunch in, and inhaling as you reach your foot and your hand back and forward. Exhaling to crunch, and then bring your hand and your knee down to the mat. We'll go again on the other side. Extend the left leg behind you, checking to see that the foot is pointed down toward the ground, firming up your core, your abs, and then possibly extending the right arm in front of you, reaching through the fingertips and through the left heel. And this might be enough challenge for you to balance, or you could do a little bit more work, a little bit more abdominal work by doing some crunches. So bring your knee forward as you bring your elbow back, and then extend, and then bring them in and extend, exhaling to crunch in, and inhaling as you reach out, and then bring your knee and your hand down to the mat. And then we'll extend our legs toward the back of the mat, coming into a plank pose. Firmly press your hands down into the mat, trying to keep your back level, but keeping your belly toned. Draw those abs in. If that's too much for you, you can always bring your knees down onto the pillow or onto the mat, but keep the shoulders aligned over the wrists and keep your lower belly toned. Bring your knees down to the mat or the cushion for just a moment, and then extend your left leg behind you and pivot on your right knee, allowing the foot to come off of the mat, and then press down into your right hand as you turn to face the left side of your mat, with your left hand reaching up to the sky. Option to lift the left leg up. Allow the front of your body to face the long side of your mat. Keep your belly toned. Keep pressing into the right hand. And then lower the left leg and the left hand down. And we'll come into a plank pose. And then place your left knee on the ground. Pivot on the knee and take the foot off of the mat. Extend the right leg. Reach up to the sky with the right hand. Option to lift the right leg. Feeling the sides of your body expansive. Shooting the energy out through that top hand. And then bring your right foot down to the ground, your right hand down to the ground, and come once more into plank pose. And then bring your knees down to the ground, and we'll get ready for the sitting portion of the class. So come to sit on your mat and move with your legs extended out in front of you, and move away any flesh from your hips or buttocks that might get in the way. And then draw your right knee in so that your right foot is on the inside of your left thigh. And then lift your left leg up, possibly doing a yogi's lock on your big toe, but most likely you'll need to use a strap or your small towel to be able to extend your leg. We're going to be trying to balance here. So use a prop if necessary, and then sit up tall, holding on to that strap or the towel, and draw your lower belly in so that your core is nice and firm. And then sit up tall with a long spine, and then see if you can tilt back onto your sit bones. And then, if possible, lift your right leg up off of the ground, holding onto your right ankle. See if you can balance here, possibly releasing the ankle. And then, if you'd like to do a little extra work, you can do knee pumps. So where you're pumping that right leg up and down, you can extend your right arm for balance. And then you just lift the leg and foot. Pump it up and down, up and down. And then you rest the foot and the leg on the ground. Release the left leg to the ground. Extend the right leg and switch sides, moving any flesh away to make it more comfortable to sit there. And then seeing if you can hold on to the right big toe, or using your strap or your towel to extend the right leg. Firm up your lower belly, sitting up tall, tilting back onto your sit bones, and then lifting your left foot and leg up off of the mat, releasing it possibly, extending the left arm to help with balance, and then if you can, doing tiny little leg pumps with the left leg and foot. Keep the abs tight, keep that core strong, and then bringing the legs down to the mat again and extending both legs. And I'm going to bring my chair a little bit closer to show you an option for this next pose. I'm going to walk my feet as wide apart in a wide split as I can. I'm going to lift up and move any flesh out of the way again. I'm going to flex my feet and point my toes toward the sky. I'm going to sit up tall, and then I'm going to begin to walk my hands forward, trying to bring my belly down toward the ground. The idea is not to bring my chest down to the ground, but bringing my belly down toward the ground. Maybe I can walk forward and bring my forearms to the ground. But maybe it would be more comfortable for you to use a chair. So bring the chair in front of you, place your hands on the chair, and then see if you can inch your way forward. Always keeping a nice long spine. Maybe you grab onto the sides of the chair. Maybe the most that you can bend forward is just a couple of centimeters. Maybe it's uncomfortable or painful for you to bend forward. So it's okay to just sit here in this split. Possibly you might be able to bring your forearms down to the ground and then begin to walk them forward. Always keeping a long spine, always thinking about bringing the abdomen closer to the ground. Maybe you can bring your chest toward the ground. Maybe your forehead reaches the ground, but always thinking of a long spine. Then walk yourself back up to sitting. Use your hands to bring your legs back together and extend them to the front of the mat. Here we're going to sit up tall. You might possibly want to use a prop for this next forward fold. Inhale, reach your arms to the sky, and exhale, begin to bow forward. Again, bringing your belly down toward the ground. In this case, toward the tops of your thighs. Keep reaching forward with a long spine, and then bring your hands down to your legs. Maybe you can hold onto your legs, maybe you can hold onto your feet. Maybe it's easier to keep a long spine by using your towel or strap. Another option is to bring your chair in closer to you and hold on to the chair as you pull your torso toward your legs. It might feel good to rest your head or your chin on the chair, allowing you to relax a little bit deeper. Some people will have the flexibility to be able to bring their forehead down toward their shins. Find where is the most comfortable place for you to rest in this pose and breathe. And then walk your hands back up your legs as you inhale and come up to a seated pose. Sit up tall for one breath in and one breath out. And now we're going to lie down on our mat to do some balancing poses. We'll begin on our left side. I'm going to use the cushion for this portion To rest my head, you could also use a block if you had one, or you could just put your head on your arm. Try not to have your arm out in front of you. You want it up above, pointing in the same direction as the crown of your head. And then you want to make sure that your pelvis is facing forward. Try not to tilt back or tilt toward the ground. Keep your pelvis facing the long side of your mat. And then inhale, lift your right leg up, keeping your foot in flex. And then maybe lift your right arm above your shoulder. And balance here. And this may require quite a bit of work for you to have stability, but you could also try to challenge yourself by lifting your bottom leg up off of the ground, maybe just an inch or so. Try to balance here, keeping your pelvis stable without rocking back, without rocking forward. Engage your abdominals to help keep you stable. Extend the legs, and then see if you can lift your right leg even higher, possibly grabbing onto your big toe. Very likely this isn't accessible for you, so you could grab onto the thigh or the calf, but maybe having a towel or a strap will be the most comfortable for this side lying pose. Take the leg and do an exterior rotation with the leg so that you're rolling your hip outward, and then balance here. Open and balance. And breathe. And try not to tilt your pelvis forward or back. Possibly you could bring the leg a little bit closer towards your body. And then slowly release the leg down and bend the right knee. And we're going to do the same pose that we did at the beginning, tree pose. So bring the right foot to the inside of the left leg, either up at the thigh, down at the calf, or even possibly at the knee level. We're not going to be pressing into the knee so much. And then bring your right arm and extend it above your head, so that both of your arms are parallel. And again, keep the abdomen toned and try not to rock your pelvis back and forth. Keep that right knee opening to stretch out the groin. And then bring the top arm down and bring the top leg down. And we'll roll onto our other side. I'm just going to flip around here so that you can keep seeing the front side. And again, have a pillow or a block or rest your head on your arm. And then press through your feet, tone up your belly, keep your pelvis facing the front, and then lift the left leg. Lift the right arm and balance. An option to try to lift that bottom leg. Keep your belly toned. Keep that pelvis stable. And breathe. Lower that arm, lower the leg. And then we'll come into our next pose. So find either a strap or that towel, or if you can, grab onto the big toe and pull that leg up toward you. You want to have an exterior rotation here on your leg. And we still want to try to keep our pelvis stable. It's very easy to roll onto our buttocks. So use your core to keep you stable. And then release your towel or your strap or your toe and bring your foot into tree pose. Bringing the foot to the inside of the leg, either the thigh or the calf, or even possibly the knee, and then lift the arm up above your head so that both of your palms are facing each other. Imagine that you're holding something in your hands. Keep your pelvis from rocking back and forth. Keep that left knee opening up. Then bring your arm down, and then bring your leg down. And come on to your back. Bring your knees into your chest or in toward your armpits, and just rock from side to side. Just releasing the back a little bit. And we'll be getting ready for our final resting pose, Shavasana, where we will let our bodies have a nice rest. So I like to put something underneath my head. I also like to cover up my eyes in Shavasana, so I have a little eye pillow that I use. You could put a pillow under your head, you could put a blanket underneath your head, but another nice option for Shavasana, particularly to release the lower back, is to elevate your legs. So if you have a chair, you might decide to put your lower legs up onto the seat of the chair. Wiggle around to get comfortable, place something over your eyes, and then rotate your shoulders back so that your palms face the sky. Your arms can be as close to your body as is comfortable. Sometimes when it's real hot, it's nice to have the arms a little bit further away from the body. And then try to relax your body. Release the conscious breath and just allow your body to breathe. Breathing in and out through the nose. Releasing any tension. Giving yourself this time, the last few minutes of your practice. Allow the muscles around your face, around your eyes, around your cheeks and jaw. Allow them to relax. Soften your throat. Relax the area around your neck and shoulders. Every once in a while, you might find it delicious to take a deep breath in and release with your mouth open. Relax the muscles of your glutes and your thighs. Soften the muscles around your knees and your calves. And then slowly begin to move around on your mat, wiggling your toes and your fingers, moving your hands, your feet, and your head. Slowly awakening up. Take a few deep breaths in through your nose and release the air through your mouth, possibly saying, "Ah," as you release. And then stretch your arms over your head. Bring your knees into your chest. And maybe move the chair away from you with your feet. And then draw your knees in toward your chest, rocking from side to side. Roll onto your right side in fetal pose. And then press your hands into the ground to come up into a seated position, keeping your eyes closed, crossing your legs and sitting up tall. extending your spine, then bringing your hands together in front of your heart center. Thanking yourself for practicing today, for coming to the mat. Taking this time for yourself. And then bowing your head down toward your hands. Thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste.